Alright, first video on my newly paved road. So they just repaved this. And I found myself not recording driving videos when I got near my house because the bumps were so bad from all the potholes and everything, from the plows and from the ice and everything getting in there, breaking up the road. Man, this is so smooth right now. This is awesome. It's nice to have a freshly paved road. It's the little things in life, right? Well, my name is Nate. This is the Volunteer Tech Vlog on the Live Sound 101 YouTube channel. And I am a lifelong student of audio. And I'm passionate about great sounding audio. And I'm trying to do my best to learn all I can about it and to share that information with anybody who is willing to learn and watch these videos. And I'm doing that through these Let's Drive style videos, so I can spend more time with my family when I'm at home, but when I'm driving to work and I'm driving to church, just press record and drive around and talk some shop about pro audio video technology. So I am super tired this morning. Well, first of all, before I talk about why I'm so tired, what am I going to talk about in this video? Oh, he's giving me the right of way. There's a little lawnmower man up there who's about to come around the corner. I did not want to hit him. See, it is possible to focus on the road and talking at the same time. That's one of the things that comes up. People say, "Is that safe what you do, Nate?" I'm like, well, if someone was in my passenger seat, I'd be talking to them. It's not like I'm looking at the camera. I'm still looking at the road. But anyway, I think I want to talk about background music in this video. So background music. This is something that I'm trying to wrestle with our setup here to try to bring more consistency to the prelude and postlude music. So right before the service starts, about 5 minutes before the service starts, and then after the service ends, we've got this you're probably wondering what this is too. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So right after service ends and then right before it begins, we got prelude, postlude, and we've got background music that we play, and it's basically up to the audio tech. That's what we're officially calling that role. We've got video techs and audio techs. It's up to the audio tech to curate and come up with appropriate music for before and after the service. And so lately I've just been bringing my CDs. I've talked about this before. I'll bring some CDs with me, and I got to thinking, we've got a computer in there called the Jukebox PC, and it's really just a computer that's up there in the media loft. That's the computer's primary role is to act as a jukebox. We just call it the Jukebox PC, and it's you can pull up iTunes, you can pull up Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever, and but normally I would just bring CDs in and play them back, because CD is going to give you a better quality than some MP3s played off of some of those applications. So what I did this past Sunday was I ripped a couple of my favorites that I go to time and time again, and I ripped them as WAV files. So 44.1, 16-bit. So 44.1 kilohertz, the sample rate, and 16-bit is the bit depth. And basically that spec there is the CD spec. So I just ripped those CDs to WAV files. Now they're big files, so because they have so much more information. The MP3s cut out a lot of information. They cut out a lot of the low end, particularly in the bass. And if you're going to be playing back music, we've got huge hard drives up there. I don't suspect we'll be putting thousands of songs on there, but if you've got some favorites that you want to play back on a somewhat regular basis, it might make sense to keep those as WAV files and just play them back in iTunes. iTunes can handle WAV files, so I did that. But one of the other things I'm working on is the SAC default mix file. So the default file that comes up, my goal, my vision is to hack this default file with all kinds of tools and helpful presets that are just there ready to go, so that a volunteer doesn't have to think about a lot of this stuff. So for instance, the background music, what I wanted to talk about, I went around and I listened to all the different mixes. I listened to the main mix, I listened to monitors, I listened to in-ears, I listened to the Fellowship Hall mix, I listened to the broadcast mix, and I put background music faders up, and I set the gain to somewhere where I thought it was a good, soft background music. And what I mean by that is when this is a subjective thing, so there's no right or wrong here, but in my mind, what I think is right or good from a background music perspective is you want the background music to be underneath the conversations. I don't want people before the church service starts or after it ends, I don't want people to have to shout when they're standing next to each other to be heard. You want people to just kind of have natural dialogue and discussion. But it's nice to have a little something in the background. So I put basically what I'll call a soft preset in there. So when you fire up the software audio console, and you route playback left and right, you make that look at the jukebox PC, and provided you've got iTunes volume up all the way, provided you've got the PC, the system volume up all the way, that's gonna feed into playback left and right, and those faders that feed all the mixes are preset for a known good, safe background level of music. And what I've done is I've applied some pretty heavy EQ to roll off the low end, because one of the things I've noticed is that since we got our new system in there, I don't know if it's a system tuning thing or a subwoofer placement thing or what, but sometimes it sounds perfectly fine if you're playing one track, and then you play another CD that maybe it was mastered a little bit differently, and all of a sudden you've got all this low end energy that feels like it's coming from another world. And that is probably a system tuning thing that we need to spend a little bit more time with and need to wrap my head around. But seeing as though you can only do so much at one time, this is my solution for now, is just to apply a heavy roll off in the low end. And what I think that does is it lets people listen to background music if they want to. It's there, you can hear it. But if you want to have a conversation with the person next to you, you can do that without yelling either. So that's kind of that was my vision, that was my goal for setting those levels. And it would be something where you could pump music in through to all the different mixes without having to think about it or actually go around and listen to them every single morning. It would be kind of something that's locked down, just as a starting point. You can go up from there. You can disable the EQ if you want to get the full sonic spectrum pumping through the system. You can change the volume as needed, but that was kind of my thinking for setting the background levels. Now, one of the problems is, like I said before, this is only if you're selecting a source of the jukebox PC and you're using iTunes with the volume up all the way and the system volume up is all the way. The system volume is up all the way because we've got a little 4-channel stereo switcher, and you can switch it to an aux input and plug an MP3 player in. You can switch it to the CD input, play the CD. So really what I should do is go around through all these different switcher settings. So I should really test these 4 different sources, but and send signal in there too, and try to make sure they're all balanced, and do some things in the background to try to lock things down so everything's nice and balanced. But anyway, forgot to mention, so my daughter Joni gave me a little Elsa. She gave it a big hug, and she said, "You should take this to work with you, Daddy, just in case you need it. I don't need it anymore. You take it." So I've got my little Elsa doll with me. That's what that's there for. But anyway, my name is Nate. This is the Volunteer Tech Vlog, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on background music. How do you handle background music? What's your approach? Love to hear from you. I'll see you in the next video.